Are you going to say it, or should I? Today's Christmas Eve.
Yup.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Chrysler.
We're doing it. Recording on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
We didn't get an episode out yet this week. Only just recording on Wednesday, December 24th, Christmas Eve. I'm going to talk about something related to this time of year.
Yes.
I didn't spoil it that time.
No.
Anything else before we get started?
It's been a while since we recorded.
Yeah, we recorded one early, and then now we've recorded one into the week. It should have already come out.
Whoops.
So we should probably record one again soon.
Maybe the 26th.
Maybe, when this winter weather comes. Did you see that yet? There's winter weather coming. There's a winter weather advisory from Friday morning until Saturday morning.
So we won't have a white Christmas, but we'll have a white post-Christmas?
Yeah.
Bro, Mother Nature sucks, man.
Yep. We had a crazy warm day since we recorded last. Like, what was it? 55 or something? 57, I think, is what our thermostat said for, I don't know what like temperature weather station it picks up around town here, but it said 57 degrees like 7 days ago.
That's too much.
That's crazy. And so all the snow we did have, gone. We're about to get more. So far it says 3 to 5 inches, but we'll see. They'll change the forecast every 15 minutes.
Freaking Tungus. I wish it was tonight and tomorrow.
It would be cool, but we got places to go tomorrow, Christmas Day. So we'll get home after all that stuff, be settled in, and then we can play with all of our new toys and be snowed in. That's how I look at it.
I guess. Look on the bright side.
Yep.
I haven't had a white Christmas in a while.
We haven't had a good winter in a while. I want to measure snow in feet. That's what I want to do.
I think our last good snow was during COVID.
Maybe. Curious. When people weren't traveling. What's going on out there? This episode is not about climate change.
Not at all.
Global warming, global cooling, climate change.
I want it to global cool.
It might.
Let's hope.
Here in the Mid-Atlantic region, we're either going to be, in the next couple years, 27, maybe in the 2030s. If it warms up, then we're going to be having Thanksgiving poolside. Wouldn't that be fun? No? But if it cools down, it's going to cool down a lot. And we're not going to be able to swim until like dead of summer.
I mean, we usually don't get to swimming until the dead of winter anyway.
Is summer?
Summer.
Well, June, like the end of May, beginning of June, you could probably do a little swimming. And it wouldn't be so bad. But I'm talking about if a mini ice age comes, then it's going to be like mid-July to mid-August is going to be swim time. That's it. How would you like that? Instead of swimming from June till the end of September, which we don't really do because it's getting a little bit cooler in September and people are getting back in school, but local pool closes as soon as school starts, which is the end of August. But, we've preambled enough, I think. Don't you?
I've gotten used to not swimming and wanting to swim, but not being able to swim.
You want to swim now?
No.
I've never had a pool party for my birthday.
Me neither.
I'm going to change my birthday.
Terms of events that happened this year around your birthday?
That's right. That's right. Anyway, we better get started. We're how many minutes in already? You're Phoenix, I'm Will, and we're here to bring on the questions.
Yes.
Links?
Linktree.com/POTQS. Find all of the links there.
Yep, Spotify, Apple, Spreaker is a good one.
Pandora.
Yep, iHeartRadio. Not to
YouTube?
mention, yep, I was going to say the visuals. YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. We do some visuals on Instagram occasionally. So, Miss Phoenix, what question are we bringing in this episode?
What is Yule and how is it celebrated?
We're coming to, no, I guess we're right in about the middle of Yule. Oh, we're only a few days into Yule. The Yule starts on the solstice now. But it didn't used to. We'll get into it.
When did it used to start?
Well, there was a whole 2-month thing. I know, right? We'll get into it?
2 months of Christmas.
No, 2 months of Yule.
I know, but if it was Christmas.
Those Jewish people celebrate 8 crazy nights.
Wow.
Yule is 12 now.
Is that why we have 12 days of Christmas?
Those Christian people, man, took another pagan tradition and Christianized it.
So, what if we treated it like it was the 12 days of Christmas and you got someone 12 gifts, 12 separate things, but doubled it? Like,
Well, slow down there, buddy. Yule actually starts at the winter solstice. So just a few days ago. And then it ends New Year's Day. We'll get into it. 12 days of Christmas is what? 12 days before, going backwards from the 25th, right? Or is it the 24th?
I heard 25th, because the 12th day is like big day where you get everything.
You get all the Lords of Leaping. You get all the French hens, all the golden rings.
Every 60 golden rings.
There's a bunch of them.
130.
Whoa. You get a total of 60 golden rings?
No. Why did I multiply 11 times 12?
I don't know. You get a bunch of them.
You get 22 Piper's Piping.
Huh. That's it.
You get 30 Lords of Leaping, because there's...
Yeah, you start getting Lords of Leaping on the 10th day.
Then you get another 10, and then another 10 on the last day.
And then you're done.
But you get 12 partridges in a pear tree.
Right.
Pear trees.
It's a lot of pear trees. What else can you do with pears? You need them.
Jam.
Pear jam?
Desserts.
They're pear juice. They're juicy when you eat them.
No, there's no pear juice at all, ever.
I don't remember. I asked because I don't remember seeing it in the store. Like, can you just get a bottle of pear juice?
Well, you can, like, make it yourself. Buy a juicer. You can juice the pear.
I wonder if the tree that the pear grows on would be good for smoking meat. Pear wood? There's apple wood. Pear wood? Orange wood?
Banana wood.
Bananas are something crazy. Bananas are weird.
Coconut wood?
We should do an episode on bananas because bananas is bananas.
Bananas are weird.
Bananas are
kind of
mutated and now they're just clones. And they're berries.
Hi, Perry.
Anyway, we are so distracted. Let's talk about Yule. Yule represents one of the most profound and persistent ritual traditions within the Germanic cultural sphere. Defined principally as an ancient midwinter observance, the term Yule in Old Norse, Jol, is fundamentally linked to the winter solstice, marking the year's longest night and commemorating the pivotal moment when the sun's descent is arrested and the promise of increasing daylight begins. This period, characterized by the long, dark hours, required complex ritual engagement to ensure survival and prosperity until spring.
Crucially, early historical evidence suggests that Yule was not initially confined to a single day or brief festival. Rather, it designated a comprehensive 2-month midwinter period, establishing a foundational marker within the Germanic calendar that governed seasonal time reckoning. The essential thematic core of the celebration, throughout its documented history, has remained centered on fire, light, feasting, and the ritualistic securing of divine favor, specifically for fertility, political stability, and peace. We will investigate the historical trajectory of Yule from its earliest attested origins and its rich mythological framework to its eventual assimilation into the Christian calendar and its contemporary revival and modern spiritual movements.
Oh, yeah. The term Yule originates from the Old Norse Yule, Jol, pronounced Yule, Yuol, which is documented as one of the oldest winter solstice festivals in Northern Europe. The primary function of the celebration was pragmatic, to commemorate the sun's lowest point in its annual cycle and mark its inevitable rise, thereby securing the promise of spring. The transition from the extreme darkness and cold of winter into the renewed light of the solar year provided the conceptual framework for all subsequent rituals and cultural meanings.
The linguistic evolution of the term demonstrates its deep cultural embedding across Northern Europe. The Old Norse root Yule transitioned into Old English as
Geo, I think is how you pronounce both of those, but
Geo or Geo. Initially, Yule designated a 2-month midwinter feast. Following the European conversion into Christianity, this term underwent a process of redefinition or semantic narrowing, causing Yule, in the later form Yule, to represent the 12-day feast of the Nativity, which traditionally commences on December 25th. 12 days leading up to Christmas.
Right.
By the 11th century in England, the term Christmas had largely replaced Yule, except notably in the northeast regions settled by the Danish, where Yule remained the customary designation. The word returned to literary use among 19th century writers seeking to evoke the nostalgia of Merry England.
Merry old England. The Danish, those Danes, continued to celebrate Yule when Christians celebrated Christmas. How dare those heathens?
Vikings don't like Danes.
Vikings don't like Danes? Are they not the same? No?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, they were.
I'll look it up while you read.
All right. The true antiquity and breadth of Yule traditions across the Germanic world are demonstrated through archaeological and historical textual evidence that predates the Viking Age sagas. The analysis of these early resources reveals that Yule served not as a religious observance, but as a fundamental temporal structure for these societies. One of the earliest known linguistic attestations of the midwinter period comes from the Gothic calendar preserved in the Codex Ambrosianus A and dated to the 5th century CE. This calendar includes the month name Fruma Jules, meaning first Yule. The presence of this term is significant as it provides concrete evidence that Jules is was recognized midwinter period among the Goths, a Germanic people who had settled in Eastern Europe. The utilization of this specific terminology among the Goths solidifies the argument that the midwinter festival was part of a shared cultural foundation and heritage spanning the broader Germanic world, rather than being an invention exclusive to the Norse or Scandinavian peoples. What do you got?
Okay, Vikings and Danes are not the same. It says Viking describes the raiding/trading activity, a job, not ethnicity, from Scandinavia, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. While Danes refers specifically to people from Denmark. But in England, Danes became a common term for all Scandinavians raiding there. Essentially, a Dane could be a Viking if raiding, but not all Vikings were Danes. Some were Norwegian or Swedish.
What a mess. So Viking is loosely a noun, but more a verb. Hi ho, let's go Viking.
Kind of in a positive.
Positively? Positively you go Viking?
Positives are like nouns that are described.
Nouns that describe themselves? What's happening in your English grammar?
Is that a gerund or a participle?
Participle. Your English teachers would either be proud or disappointed that you're not getting this right now. I have no idea what you're talking about. I know you don't leave your participles dangling. That's a thing.
I think it's a participle.
Viking? Or Viking is participle? Participle?
Yeah, it's like, it looks like a verb, but it's an adjective.
No.
It looks like an adjective, but it's not.
So an adverb. What? We need somebody else who knows what's happening right now. All right. Well, I think I get it. So Danes are not always Viking or Norwegian, but Vikings are usually the other way around. Viking people from the northern areas are not always Danes, but Danes are usually Viking. What? Something like that.
Yeah, like the English people called they called everyone who like raided them Danes.
Okay. I guess that's what I meant.
They could be Viking, but not all Vikings were Danish. Because they were from different parts.
Cheese Danish.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
You've never had a cheese Danish?
Oh, I thought you were like talking about like an adjective of a Danish, like a subgenre
of Danish.
Yeah.
A cheese Danish.
I've never had a cheese Danish, but I've had the ones when Quinn was in school. She brought home the like dough stuff, and we made Danishes, and we made them with like pie filling.
There you go.
They were really good.
That would be nice if she made more.
It would be nice if she made pumpkin roll
for this Yule celebration. We'll find out what day is a good day in the Yule celebration to make Danishes.
We're just gonna call them Danes now.
Cheese Danes.
They're raiding our mouths.
I probably wouldn't use that term for mouths. Yeah.
They're raiding our taste buds.
Also, no.
Further critical? Yes. Further critical evidence is found in the writings of the English monk and historian
Bede? I would say Bede? You going to say Bede? Bede.
Bede.
Okay.
In his early 8th century Latin work, De Temporum Rationale, The Reckoning of Time, Bede. It just turned into bidet. Bidet.
Bidet. That's fine.
No, B-Day. Birthday. B-Day.
I was thinking bidet.
Bidet.
I've never experienced a bidet. You know what a bidet is?
I do. I think I've experienced it. Maybe.
Really? I may have accidentally. Plop. Splash.
I don't know if I've experienced one or not. I truly don't know. But we're just gonna call him B-Day.
Okay.
B-Day meticulously detailed the Anglo-Saxon calendar. He defined Julie, or Giola,
Giola?
as a period spanning 2 months. Specifically, he noted that 2 months shared the name
Say era Giola, I think.
Wait, was it Se or C?
I'll pick one. Se?
Yara?
I don't know if you pronounce two R's like that in this language.
I'm stuck on the first part.
Oh, I would say A for that. Era?
Era, Giola, the preceding Yule.
That's the important part.
Yeah. Corresponding to December, and
Aftera.
the following.
Maybe that's where after comes from. There was a bunch of syllables in there. Aftera. They're like, whoa, you need to take it down a notch, Dane. Let's take some syllables out of there. After. Okay? The following. Not aftera.
After, not after.
I know you got all this time on your hands, but we're spending way too much time pronouncing the following. Okay?
Make it short, sweet, simple. After.
And say after the following.
Corresponding to January. New Year's. Christmas. New Year's.
That's how it goes.
B-Day's accounts suggest that Yule's primary significance lay in its function as a method for calendrical reckoning. Julie marked the precise time when sunlight began to increase again following the winter solstice. This perspective is vital because it implies that the midwinter period was profoundly integrated into seasonal structure of Germanic life. It confirms that the celebration was rooted in the astronomical reality of the solar cycle, serving as a pivotal calendar marker that existed well before the Christianization of England. This early function as a temporal structure explains why the resulting Christian holiday proved so resilient, as it occupied a time slot critical to both the physical survival and the religious cosmology of the populace.
The historical evidence preserved in sagas and early histories provides a comprehensive, if fragmented, picture of how Yule was celebrated in pre-Christian Scandinavia, emphasizing intense public ritual, sacrifice, and oath-swearing that bound the community and the divine. The Yule period commenced with the longest night of the year, an event known to Anglo-Saxon pagans as Mōdraniht, Mother's Night. This event, attested solely by Bede in the 8th century, involved all-night ceremonies. While Bede did not describe the rites in detail, scholars have proposed connections between the Anglo-Saxon Mōdraniht and similar events attested among other Germanic peoples, particularly those involving the veneration of the Disir, collective female ancestral beings, and the Germanic Maters and Mōdraniht. These female figures were associated with protection, health, and prosperity, and often appeared in trios in Roman-era Germanic and Celtic regions. Maters.
Mater.
That's how they pronounce it in Greek, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Mater Pater.
Mother, Father.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have maternity leave and paternity leave.
Right. And, well, anything referring to mother, whatever, is mater something. And father is pater something.
Like matriarchy, patriarchy.
Yes.
Female, male.
And you can go darker with matricide and patricide.
Right.
You know what those mean?
Kinda. Like,
Matricide is mother killing, and patricide is father killing. Yay. Now we know that. You're welcome. Took it dark.
right. I knew how to do something with killing because I took the word homicide and side. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
something like that.
I wonder if homicide actually means people killing, like Homo sapien kill.
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Homo human.
Then you have the sua part, which is self. Suicide.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Took a dark turn.
There you go.
Oh.
Let's get back into it.
The placement of this ancestral rite at the very start of the Yule period is highly significant. It implies a cosmological structure where the structure.
Cosmological structure. Where the structure? There's a structure.
Structure here, and structure there.
Here the structure, there
McDonald.
structure, everywhere.
Everywhere structure. McDonald had a farm. Structure.
I don't know what a structure says, but
Starting does not sound like a word.
I know, right? Isn't that fun?
Structure. My hands get so clammy.
At the end of a structure, it would sound like when it's falling down.
I just that as a sound effect for the there and a here. Old McDonald had a barn.
He had a structure, and then it fell down.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh no. Where the successful transition into the new year requires securing the blessing and protection of the foundational, often chthonic female spirits. It's a fun word. Chthonic.
It is. Yep. And all those letters together just don't make any sense in the American lexicon. But there they are.
4 consonants.
CHTH onic. Is that what you're thinking?
It's the first thing that came to mind.
On this wild hunt night.
I guess. Hunting for a good time.
With your chthonic and
Chthonic female spirits. I mean, you could pronounce that as gin.
It's all in there. Gin tonic. Chthonic.
Yeah. Before the community could engage in the high-stakes political and solar rituals that followed, rituals aimed at ensuring the survival of the current crop, the political structure, and the king's authority, they first needed to gain the sanction of those spirits most deeply tied to the land and kin.
The central public ritual of Yule was the blot, sacrifice, and the subsequent feast. This gathering was mandatory. An ancient custom required all farmers, bondi, to attend the Hof temple and bring sufficient provisions to sustain the feast for its duration. Feasting was characterized by celebratory drinking, typically of mead and ale. The sacrificial act itself was complex and formalized. Farm animals, including small cattle and sometimes horses, were killed. The blood derived from these sacrifices were termed hlut, H-L-A-U-T, and the bowls used to collect it were called hulutboller. The consecration of the space and the participants was achieved using hulutianar. I don't know how to actually pronounce that. H-L-A-U-T-T-E-I-N-A-R. Hulutianar. Let's go with that. Hulutianar. Sticks. They were sticks resembling sprinklers. With these, the stalls, the inner and outer walls of the hoof and the gathered people themselves were reddened with the halut.
Following the ritual sprinkling, the sacrificial meat was boiled for the Mōdraniht.
Awesome. Good job.
So they don't know how to cook their meat because they're boiling.
Roast
Why don't they use their sprinkling sticks to, like, cook the meat over fire?
it?
Yeah.
Are they are they deboiling, like submerged completely in water, like noodles? Or are they like half boiling it? There's fire underneath. It's more like roasting it. Like you're like in an oven, you put a little bit of water in the pan and then you put it in the oven and heat around it. But if they're totally submerging it in a freaking cauldron or whatever, then we've got a problem.
You're gonna have some pale chicken there. There's not a single bit of seasoning on there, I bet, too. Because, we're in England.
Sort of.
The English don't use seasonings. They fought for all of that spice. Don't use it.
You're right. The East India Company was
They
rough.
They love their green mush. Taters and
what? Bangers and mash?
Bangers and mash.
Yeah. I'm down for that. Why? It's just sausage and mashed potatoes.
It
and gravy.
looks so bad.
Well, maybe the actual English version, but if you just take some American Italian sausage, American Italian sausage,
I would try the American version.
We've had it.
Not with gravy.
Yes, we have. All right, we'll make it again while we got holiday going on. We'll get some sausages and.
I don't want to go to England and try their food.
Beans on toast.
I hate beans.
For breakfast.
No. I'm not having beans on toast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
We've got some leftover beans. We could have some beans and toast right now. Why? For Christmas breakfast?
I don't like beans.
You better get on with this here. Because the ritual sprinkling was for the Mōdraniht, which is...
Wait, it went up.
Which is...
Trying to find...
Which is...
The enjoyment of the people.
That's right.
Fires were maintained in the center of the hoof floor, with cauldrons suspended over them.
There you go. That's where they're putting the meat. In the cauldron. It's a stew. Come on, it's a stew.
Oh, you gotta add vegetables.
Yeah, man.
You gotta cook the bone. You gotta boil the bones.
Yeah, everybody brought their harvest, bro.
Boil the bones so then you can get your broth before you boil the meat. Also, you gotta cook the meat before you boil it. What are you doing?
Yes, chef.
I know how to make soup.
From a can. You put it in the microwave.
I know, but I know the ingredients of the soup and how they do it. They cook the steak before they put it in there. You gotta boil the bones with the marrow inside to get that flavor.
Swift Hunter ate the marrow of his family. Yep, took a turn. You're welcome. Bring it back. And the sacrificial beaker.
And the sacrificial beaker was borne around the fire. The chieftain responsible for hosting the feast was also tasked with blessing the beaker and all the sacrificial meat. The boiled meat.
Deliciously boiled meat. Don't knock it till you try it. It's a stew, bro. It's a stew.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
When it's just uncooked meat being boiled, it's not a stew. You've got to cook the meat, boil the bones, cut up the vegetables, cook those. Cook a little bit of those.
Maybe they did. Don't knock it. We're gonna have to go and try a Yule stew.
I don't know.
And you're gonna have to be part of the sacrifice. Not you yourself, but you're gonna have to sacrifice the goat or whatever.
See, I don't mind that part.
A horse.
I don't mind the sacrificing the animal part.
No.
But when it comes to food and it reminds me of puke. It will remind me of puke.
You just wash it down with some meat.
Not enough. Plus,
maybe in Scandinavia you are. I haven't been there yet.
We haven't been out of the country.
I don't think you have. We've been in Niagara Falls in Canada. That's as far as we've gone. I don't think you were there. Nope. Right. I don't think you were there.
I've never been out of the country. I've only been into other states.
Do you want your first out of the country experience to be Scandinavia, where you have to sacrifice a goat and eat goat stew? Like right after you sacrifice the goat?
See, I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, correct answer is yes.
See, I don't know about that. I think I'm gonna enjoy some pasta in Italy.
Is that traditional?
I'm gonna eat my tiramisu and my penne.
There you go. Fresh vegetables and the foulest cheese they have.
I don't know if I'll be tasting many cheese. That's France.
It only has cheese too.
I know, but they're not as
mozzarella.
They're not as obsessed with their cheese. They have a couple cheeses, but they're not as obsessed with their Gouda.
Maybe. Parmigiano. All right, anyway.
This structured process of offering and communal consumption transferred the mere act of eating into a sacred reaffirmation of the community's bond with its gods. See, the word communal makes me think of church.
Well, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're communing with their religious figures. Polytheistic.
Well, ours is monotheistic.
Yes, it is. The Yule festival served as a crucial legal and political nexus, a time when solemn promises were formalized and the cosmic hierarchy was ritually acknowledged. And the noisiest chair in this room brightens the mood. Yule evening was marked by the custom of oath swearing, or hearth stringing, documented in sagas such as Helga Kvitha, Fjorvarth Sonar. Shoot, I don't know if I can put them together. I'm gonna try. Helga Kvitha, Fjorvarth Sonar. These oaths, once sworn, were considered unbreakable under pagan law. The ritual was profound, requiring participants to place their hands on a consecrated pig known as the Sonagolter, the sacred boar. Some historical accounts explicitly refer to this pig as holy, dedicated to the god Freyr, the Vanir deity associated with fertility, peace, and harvest. The boar was then sacrificed following the oath swearing. The act of swearing unbreakable vows upon an animal dedicated to the god of agrarian bounty demonstrates that Yule served as the absolute zenith of legal commitment, directly linking societal structure and integrity to divine provision and the promise of a successful agrarian year.
So we're just was consecrated pig? What is it like? An open pig?
I don't think that's what that means. Consecrated. Declared sacred, basically. Christian burial in consecrated ground.
So sacred.
Declared to be or represent the body and blood of Christ. So it's sacred. It has recently become sacred. We give you blessed water, and now it's consecrated.
So we're placing our hands upon a pig that is sacred.
Yeah, and then killing it.
And then boiling it. And having a really bland stew. Yeah.
Why are you hating on the Viking still, man?
They need a couple more resources. They at least need some potatoes in there. I know they can cook potatoes.
They probably got potatoes.
Then they can add some potatoes in there.
Well, buddy, this is the north. You probably get tomatoes, maybe some green peppers. So you're not going to get a whole lot else out there.
Yes.
In the Scandinavias.
I know we can cook the bones.
Hearty vegetables.
While you're cooking your meat, while you're roasting your meat, you can boil the bones with the bone marrow inside to make your broth. Then fish out the bones.
You've expressed this recipe multiple times now.
Put in your veggies, and you've got some stew after you boil it. It's really simple.
You want to go to this Yule village and tell them how to cook their stew.
If they're boiling this meat,
you're going to just run up there and be like, how dare you? Boiled meat.
Oh, this is 2025.
How dare you boil meat in a cauldron?
Not 1201.
Did your great-great-grandfather make this cauldron or something? How many meats have you boiled in this?
It's about the cooking of meat. Meat should never be boiled. I feel like
I think you should try it.
No, I don't. I don't think I should. I think some people need to learn. In this country, boiling meat is not. No.
Yes.
The communal feasting was punctuated by a specific sequence of required toasts or beakers. This structured ritual, outlined in text detailing Norse governance, perfectly encapsulates the Norse societal needs and cosmic order. The first toast, dedicated to Odin, the All-Father and God of wisdom, victory, and sovereignty. This toast was drunk specifically for, quote, for victory and power to the king, unquote.
Scold. It's like cheers.
Wait, Prost.
What?
German for cheers.
We're close. Like we're in the region. We're in the same region.
It's old Germanic tribes. Close enough.
There you go. Second toast.
The second toast, dedicated to the Vanir gods.
Njordr,
god of the sea, wind, and wealth, and Freyr, god of fertility and peace. This toast was offered, quote, for good harvest and peace, unquote. The third toast, drunk to the king himself, reinforcing the earthly political authority.
They're like, all right. I guess we'll toast to the guy sitting on the big chair.
With his big, tall, red, silver crown.
In addition to these mandated toasts, ritual beakers known as mini were drunk to the memory of departed kinsfolk. This sequential process, honoring the principal political god, Odin, securing material prosperity, Njordr and Freyr, reaffirming the earthly ruler, and finally honoring the ancestral line, revealed the complex and layered importance of the festival. Yule did not merely celebrate a season, it provided the annual spiritual infrastructure necessary to maintain the cosmic, political, and social stability of the community.
The Yuletide period was not just a time of feasting and sacrifice, it was cosmologically dangerous, marking the peak of winter where the veil between the living and the dead was thin, allowing mythological forces to traverse the world.
Like Halloween?
Winter Halloween.
is the darkness. It's when all the dark is here.
Sure.
Okay.
It's when the spirits of Christmas past, Christmas present, Christmas future come out.
Christmas presents.
The presence of Christmas spirits.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The spirits of presents.
So
Present.
no more bah humbug.
What?
No more bah humbug.
Yeah, bah humbug. It's fine. Keep
I
going.
don't think I will.
Yule nights?
The Yule nights, or the 12-day period of midwinter, are traditionally associated with the terrifying myth of the Wild Hunt. As all Scourds ran?
Yep.
Or Woden's Wild Hunt.
Or I guess it was more like Asgard's Rayan. That's how the pronunciation came up when I looked up the Asgard's Rayan. Asgardsrein. All Scourds.
I don't know.
But anyway, Woden's Wild Hunt.
This myth describes a host of the dead sweeping through the skies, often accompanied by black hounds and black horses, with fire flashing from their eyes and hooves. Sounds a little bit like one Loki's. Is it son or daughter?
What?
Fire horse.
Oh. I think Sleipnir is a son.
Okay. And then Pokemon.
But okay. That went in a different direction. I didn't expect to go. Pokemon.
Eyes and hooves.
Cloven hooves?
Fire hooves and eyes.
Oh yeah. Ninetales.
Yeah.
Not Ponyta. Ponyta's the baby version of Ninetales.
Well, it could also be Ponyta. Well, does Ponyta have the fire hooves?
Fire tail. That's it.
So yeah, it's Ninetales. The popular consensus was that during this time, quote, it is best to stay indoors, safely shut away from the dark paths and the wild heats, unquote, lest one encounter this host.
Don't want that. The leader of this spectral procession is often theorized to be Woden or Odin, embodying his fierce, liminal nature as the psychopomp and patron of ecstatic rites. The mythological characteristics ascribed to Woden during the Yuletide period, specifically his long white beard and his nightly rides on a gray horse, have been posited as direct influences on the development of later Dutch Christmas figures such as Sinterklaas, and by extension, the modern American Santa Claus figure. This assimilation of imagery demonstrates how powerful pagan mythological concepts concerning the midwinter deity were successfully carried over and transformed within a Christian context. So Santa Claus, as we know him today, was formerly Odin. Santa Claus is red because Coca-Cola.
Yes. I read the white beard and I was like, Santa!
Santa Claus!
Sinterklaas. Klaus. Ooh, we gotta watch that movie.
Yep, I'm ready.
Me too.
I like that one. That's a good one. Klaus.
I think I've watched it, but it's been a bit since I watched it again. The Yule goat.
Yule Balkan.
Yule Balkan is a prominent Scandinavian and Northern European symbol associated with Yule and Christmas, often represented today by figures made of straw. Its origins tie together high divine mythology and practical agrarian concerns, reflecting the dual nature of Germanic folk religion. A popular theory connects the celebration of the goat to the worship of the Norse god Thor, who traversed the sky in a chariot drawn by his two goats. Tangrisnir, and Tangyoster.
I like it. Good job.
This link likely harks back to common Indo-European beliefs regarding divine transportation in animals. Since when did Thor have 2 goats?
It's a thing. I think they showed up in not Ragnarok. Love and Thunder.
I'll look it up.
Okay. On a practical earthbound level, the goat symbolized the spirit of the harvest. The last sheaf of grain bundled during the autumn harvest was believed to possess magical properties because it housed the residual life force of the season. This sheaf was carefully saved for the Yule celebrations and referred to as the Yule goat or Yule Balkan. This practice ensured the continuity of fertility and agricultural magic until the next planting season. In Sweden, the Yule goat was also regarded as an invisible spirit that would appear before Christmas to ensure that all necessary Yule preparations were correctly completed. The unification of the high divine powers, Thor's chariot, with practical agrarian ritual, preserving the harvest spirit in the last sheaf, highlights a key characteristic of Germanic folk religion. The sacred year was secured through rites that simultaneously acknowledged the Norse gods and the crucial, intimate interaction with local nature spirits and harvest magic. What do you got for the goats?
Found them.
There you go.
Those screaming goats in Thor Love and Thunder is what this one photo says.
Mm-hmm. You gonna try to pronounce their names again?
Tang or Tang?
I'm guessing with the 2 ends, it's tongue.
Tangrisnir and Tangnjostir.
There you go. I like it.
I wonder which one is which.
That one I have no idea. In Thor, Love and Thunder, there's a white one and there's a grayish one.
Brown.
Light brownish one.
Yeah. One with longer, swirly, coiled horns, and one that has horns that like a normal ram-ish, goes up.
They look like beefier goats, like almost like a small horse but with goat horns.
Ponyta.
Oh boy.
We're going right back.
We'll come full circle.
I bet this one's a Njostir, because I feel like stronger. He looks stronger, and he looks a little goofier.
So Njostir is the goofy one. Tangnjostir is the goofy one.
No, Njostir is brown. That's what I think.
Brown and goofy looking?
No, this one, the strong looking.
Tangnjostir is the strong one.
Yeah.
With the goofy horns.
And Grisnir.
Grisnir, they're both tongue.
But Grisnir sounds. It doesn't sound as strong and like powerful.
Goofy.
Sounds a little goofier, and the white one is a bit goofier.
I see.
This conversation.
Conversion, yeah.
This conversion of Northern Europe necessitated a deliberate fusion of pagan and Christian rites, a process known as syncretism.
Syncretism is crazy.
Syncretism.
We should talk about syncretism sometime. I don't know if the mic picked up on that, but you must be hungry.
My stomach made like a howling noise. It keeps making noises.
Perhaps you're hungry.
Maybe a little.
Or your belly's mad because you're getting diarrhea.
No, not diarrhea. We've had home-cooked meals for a bit. I only get that when we have so much fast food at once.
Oh, okay. Unless you eat tainted meat from the local diner or cafe.
Or that soup.
That's what I'm talking about. Tainted meat.
See, Oops. That was a bad stew.
Yep.
And it didn't taste so good. It didn't smell good either. It also...
Something went wrong.
Yeah. And I guess it was only the first bone of that batch. at our local cafe thing.
Yep. So hopefully tomorrow you don't wake up with diarrhea. Ding, ding, ding.
What I want for Christmas is to not have liquidy poop.
Somehow, poop still ended up in the episode.
It always happens.
It happens.
It doesn't matter.
Regularly.
It doesn't matter what we're talking about.
Almost
Poop
every time.
happens. We talk about cryptid poop. Now we're talking about our own poop.
Somehow in the Yule episode.
We've talked about skinwalker poop. Haven't we?
Yeah. There ain't no skinwalker poop.
But it can change, probably.
I wonder how soon we're going to talk about the Yule Log. You know, like a log of poop? Come on.
Oh, I was like, what? It didn't clock in my mind.
Syncretism. Come on.
Tendernism. See, that's good. Tendernism.
Will it tender?
I bet that boiled meat. Boiled meat is not very tender. Yule's enduring popularity made it a prime candidate for assimilation rather than eradication. The process of merging Yule with Christmas began across northern Europe during the 8th century AD, spreading rapidly among early Germanic cultures. So, the Germanic tribes, the pagans, are getting Christianized.
Come on. We're almost an hour into this. We're only halfway through the notes.
A seminal moment occurred in the 10th century when King Håkon, the first of Norway, a Christian ruler attempting to convert his still pagan population, mandated that the Norse Yule celebration must be observed at the same time as Christmas, beginning on December 25th.
Oh, he's very adamant about making it happen at the same time. We're not giving this up. Archaeological analysis characterizes Håkon's early conversion efforts as gradual. The king adopted an adaptive strategy, making only piecemeal adjustments to Yule celebrations and religious life as his political position strengthened. This tolerance and assimilation had a dual effect. It allowed Christianity to establish roots more easily within Northern European societies by preserving familiar practices, thereby preventing full-scale rebellion. Isn't that nice? Sprinkling in a little Christianity with their paganism and sprinkle a little paganism in with their Christianity. Very nice. Very nice. And that's called... What is that called? Flocculation.
Alright.
Let's talk about quackery sometime.
The Norse gods into Christian and Jesus into Norse.
Kinda.
Sprinkle. The fact that conversion required synchronization rather than outright prohibition reveals a crucial cultural reality. Yule was too culturally and ritually
having a rough time here. These are all regular words.
Vile to be erased. It provided essential community structure, annual feasting, and cosmic reassurance that underpinned the social order. Synchronization transformed Yuletide into a cornerstone of the Christian liturgical, retaining the localized
liturgical calendar.
Liturgical calendar for Northern Europeans, emphasizing the universal message of Christ's birth while retaining the localized ancestral practices of the Germanic peoples. This legacy explains why Christmas today is so often characterized by a rich accretion of local rites and customs inherited directly from Yuletide.
Through syncretism, Yuletide was fundamentally reshaped from its original state as an agrarian festival rooted in polytheism, focused heavily on solar cycles and deities like Freyr, into a Christian holiday centered on the Nativity. The resulting holiday became a field day for folklorists, accumulating quote, a wealth of local rites and customs, often of considerable specificity. These folkloric accretions, which include decorations, festive music, and feasting traditions, became woven into the fabric of what is now recognized as Christmas. Even the 12-day duration of the celebration retained in the phrase Yuletide connects back to the original Old English Yule, which designated a 2-month midwinter feast that was later compressed to match the 12-day feast of the Nativity.
Isn't there a Christmas carol that has Yuletide in it?
I think so.
Like Yuletide carols? Something about that.
Yeah, read the next part. I'll look it up.
Several key physical symbols of Yule persisted through the transition to Christendom and continue to define the celebratory aesthetic of midwinter today. The practice of cutting evergreen boughs and trees and bringing them indoors is one of the most visible survivals of Yule tradition. For the ancient Germanic and Celtic peoples, trees were considered sacred. Evergreens were brought into the home to symbolize life, rebirth, and renewal during the depths of winter. This ritual was rooted in a form of practical protective magic. The ancient peoples observed that evergreens were never faded, which they believed granted the plants power over death. Thus, evergreens were employed as ritual tools to ward off winter demons, hold back destruction, and actively encourage the sun's eventual return due to their inherent strength and tenacity.
So it's Deck the Halls, one of the most famous Christmas songs. Stroll the ancient Yuletide carol. And somewhere in Deck the Halls, I can't get it in my head where this one is. While I tell of Yuletide treasure.
It sounds familiar, but
And then Frank Sinatra's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And he sings a part, one of the lyrics is Make the Yuletide Gay.
that's the women in the background. Make the Yuletide gay.
All right. Nice catch. Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting. You know, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Yuletide carols being sung by a choir. There you go.
Yuletide carols being sung by a choir.
Specific plants carried further symbolic weight. Holly represented the masculine element and was frequently used to decorate doors, windows, and fireplaces, primarily for protection. Mistletoe represented the female element and held significant importance, particularly among Druid priests. Pliny the Elder recorded that Druids used a golden sickle to cut mistletoe during special ceremonies at the winter solstice. The plant was believed to impart fertility to barren animals when given in drink and served as an antidote for all poisons. These symbols, integrated into modern practice, underscore the fundamental belief in the efficacy of nature-based rituals to counteract the existential threat posed by the winter season.
So is holly and mistletoe not the same thing?
No, dude.
Like, they're not the same plant?
No. Mistletoe is its own plant.
I thought mistletoe was holly. It just had a different name.
No.
There's a whole plant called mistletoe?
Yeah, dude.
I thought it was just a little Christmas name.
Mistletoe versus holly. Holly with 2 L's, not 3, that I put. Mistletoe and holly are distinct holiday plants. Holly is a thorny evergreen shrub with glossy leaves and red berries. you don't eat. Growing independently with its own roots, symbolizing protection. In contrast, mistletoe is a parasitic plant that grows on trees, featuring softer oval leaves and white berries, traditionally associated with love and kissing. Probably also shouldn't eat those berries, being that it's parasitic and all. The key differences are growth habit, independent versus parasitic, leaf shape, spiky versus smooth, and berry color, red versus white. Mistletoe with white berries, holly with red berries, but spiky leaves.
What?
Your mind is blown right now.
I thought they were the same. I've always thought of them to be the same. Like,
Should I read the next paragraph while you recover, or what?
no, I got it. Oh, we're on the Yule Log.
Here we go, the Yule Log.
That's me after Christmas dinner.
Next morning, Yule Log among us.
No, just after dinner, cause we have a big feast.
Right.
And not bland meat.
Oh boy, let's get through this.
I don't like bland boiled meat. The Yule Log tradition began as a matter of pragmatic necessity and survival during the dark, cold months. Historically, families would chop down an entire tree, bring it inside, and then cut logs from it continuously as needed for the fire, ensuring warmth and light.
Cut down a tree and bring it in. Does that sound familiar?
Maybe a little bit.
And light it.
Light it with their candles. Now the whole house is going down.
Well, if you're not careful, yes.
They didn't have fire extinguishers back then.
No. And they built their houses out of wood and hay.
And then they had giant trees and candles on them and other flammable objects on them.
No wonder the Vikings are extinct. Idiots.
No wonder the pagans are gone. We still have our tradition.
Dumb. But now we have a plastic tree because it's safer.
Especially for animals.
And
who would eat the tree.
And the real trees are a lot of work. And messy, in my opinion. Plenty of people dig it. I don't dig it.
Especially since you have that tick that you got. Because Mom told me this story.
Poison ivy. I get poison ivy from a tree that I cut down in the snow.
Not a tick. Poison ivy.
Cut down a tree in the snow. There was snow. I had to crawl under the tree in the snow. A couple days later, I got poison ivy across my hand. I had gloves on. Me and poison ivy don't get along.
No, I don't mind our fig tree. It's honestly easier to set up.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to water it. And so then we don't have to worry about our pit. My voice is saying pants, so I want to say pets. We don't have to worry about our pets drinking the water.
The dogs just don't even care about the tree. They might, we have automatic lights. They come on at a certain hour, and they might, look up when the lights come on, and then they don't care.
Well, our youngest was trained not to mess with the tree.
Right.
Because our older two know not to.
Right.
It's the whole reason why we got the gate that we have out in our living room. To put it around our tree when our dogs were younger. But no, we don't need that. And we use it to keep them in the living room. Because they would eat everything if they weren't.
And poop everywhere. More poop. Yay. Yule Log. Keep going. Segway. You did it.
This historical.
Yep.
This historical function was critical for the survival of the household. In the modern era, the physical nature and significance of the Yule Log have evolved considerably. Logs are typically no longer massive tree trunks, rather they are often smaller oak logs. They are decorated symbolically with items such as pine cones, berries, and cinnamon sticks, and other fragrant plants.
What is this, a cornucopia?
I guess.
But then we set it on fire, so keep going.
It's a flammable cornucopia. They are
The contemporary.
The contemporary burning of the Yule Log, often over the 12 days of the festival, is highly symbolic. It represents the emotional and spiritual release of past mistakes and a welcome to the new year and the returning light.
Beautiful. Yule remains a vibrant celebration today, particularly among modern pagans, including Wiccans and heathens. Heathen seems so negative, like what? But maybe we'll look that up sometime.
I love that song, Heathens.
Fall
Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or not 21 Pilots.
Maybe. Wiccans and heathens, who observe it as a major holiday rooted in the winter solstice. This revival reflects the conscious effort to reconnect with pre-Christian cultural heritage and observe the inherent cyclical nature of the natural world. Contemporary observance is characterized by a thematic focus on nature's cycles, cultural heritage, and personal transformation. Practitioners incorporate traditional elements like evergreen decorations and smaller symbolic Yule logs. These customs are interpreted through a lens of personal spiritual development, where the decorations represent life and prosperity, and the log burning symbolizes releasing the past and welcoming new beginnings.
Yep. Heathens, 21 Pilots.
Heathens.
It's a really good song.
So heathens are not negative. Read that nice little paragraph and we'll look up the definition of heathens.
Modern heathen and eclectic pagan practices often structure the celebration around a 12-day period, typically beginning on winter solstice itself. This framework synthesizes various historical customs, acknowledging Anglo-Saxon, Norse, and continental European folklore. Want to tag team this 12 days?
Yep. So heathens are, I don't know, it almost sounds like punk rock. Like they're just punks or something. Heathens refers to people outside of a specific religious group, historically non-Christians or pagans, but the term now often means outsiders, rebels, or nonconformists. Popularized by 21 Pilots song from the Suicide Squad movie, describing those who feel they don't fit mainstream morality.
I mean, I think the first
Rebels.
One of the first few lyrics is, "All my friends are heathens."
Yeah, there you go.
It's the first bit of words.
Yo, do you want to do day one, and then you do the odds, I do the evens?
Yeah.
Go on, do it.
Day 1, Mother's Night, MO-dra-nikht. Modern rites for the first night often follow scholarly theories regarding ancestral worship. Practitioners may prepare votive offerings of bread, milk, beer, or honey cakes. The lighting of a hearth fire, candle, or Yule log is central, symbolizing domestic warmth and protection. Rituals include naming the ancestral mothers aloud and giving a libation of milk or ale poured onto the earth or in a bowl.
Day 2. The focus shifts to the returning solar energy. Activities include taking time to appreciate the sunset on the solstice and the sunrise the following morning. Practitioners light a white or gold candle at sunrise to welcome the sun's return and often engage in journaling about intentions, what they wish to leave in the darkness and what they wish to bring into the expanding light. Feasting is common, with an emphasis on consuming round or sun-shaped foods such as oranges, rolls, or specific Yule recipes.
On the third day, day 3, on the third day, you celebrate family. Family. Vin Diesel.
Fast and the Yule.
The fast and the festive.
Oh, there you go.
27.
What?
The fast and the festive. 12.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. I think we're working on 12, actually.
They just need to stop. They need to slam on the brakes.
Nope. We're going to space, baby.
They need to stop. We don't need to go until 2012. 21, 2, 3.
The Fast and the Furious to the Final Frontier. That's where we're going next. Look out, Captain Picard. Here
I
come
don't
the
even
Fast
know
and
who
Furious.
that is.
Star Trek. Bald guy.
Never watched Star Trek. I don't know. I don't know who these people are.
All right, day 3.
I was born in the 2010s. If you're celebrating with your family or your loved ones, gather with them for a meal. We do that
Occasionally.
every Christmas.
No, it's not Christmas. Day 3 isn't Christmas yet.
Oh, Thanksgiving then. Thanksgiving then.
This is day 3 of Yule. This is days before Christmas.
Well, as Chris
This is when families come
family.
into town. Go on.
I'm trying to connect the dots so people can understand.
I'm going to finish this episode sometime today.
If you're celebrating alone, focus on expressing gratitude for the relationships you cherish, both physical and spiritual. Honor the people who support and strengthen you.
I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder.
It's not a boulder. It's a rock.
All right, day 4. Today, this is the day of the wild hunt, a day to honor the spirits and ancestors who roam the earth during the longest nights. It's a good time to reflect on Odin, the Norse god often associated with Yule and the wild hunt. You can leave offerings like bread or apples for spirits at your doorstep, such as raccoons or squirrels.
My
occasional
grandmother has
skunk.
bears.
Yeah, she better not leave offerings. She's going to have a bear attack.
She's gonna have bears everywhere. Or deer. She could have deers.
Lots of deers. So many deers. Deer.
Deuces.
No, don't get your moose juice and goose juice.
Deuces. Niece. Nephew.
On the 5th day of Christmas.
My true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree.
That's not how the song goes.
Day 5, the 5th day of Yule, celebrates community and giving. It's a great day to reach out to friends, neighbors, or coven members if you're bewitched.
That's tomorrow. That's Christmas Day.
And share small gifts, food, or simply kind words. Please and thank you.
Don't curse me. Day 6. The theme for day 6 of Yule is spiritual renewal. You can light candles in the morning to bring blessings into your home.
Jewish people.
I don't know what day that is in Hanukkah.
Menorah. I know what a kosher menorah is.
There's a bunch of fun words. Kosher menorah?
Kosher.
What's a kosher menorah? It's not made for candles, not made from animal fat or something?
No. It's not about food. It's about like how the menorah is shaped. Like all the candles have to be equal, and then you have one separate candle that's your lighting candle. So that one can be higher or like elsewhere, but the rest of your candles all have to be level.
Interesting. I like to learn about the whole thing. I don't really know much about it. Just, eat crazy nice. There's menorah. There's candles.
There's presents.
There's dreidels. There's a song about dreidels. That's about all I know.
There's
symbols
gold
on the dreidel.
chocolate coins.
Chocolate coins.
Gold coins. Chocolate coins. Chocolate.
Are they leprechauns too?
No. That's when you play the dreidel.
On day 6, you can also cleanse your space, altar or tarot cards, and set your intentions for the remainder of the Yule season.
It's like Christmas, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Day 6 or 7. Day 7. On this day, wisdom is pursued. People usually turn...
But not by brain rot.
Right? Well, this year it is. Whether you like it or not. People usually turn to divination, whether it's through tarot, runes, or scrying, to seek guidance for the coming year. Take time to reflect on past lessons you've learned and the direction you want to go in the future.
Take time with a one hand. I think that's the lyrics.
Tic Tacs are really yummy.
Okay. Day 8. This day focuses on abundance and the generosity of the universe. You can make spells for prosperity or set your intentions for abundance in the coming year. Often, people burn incense like cinnamon or cloves to attract success and wealth.
Day 9, the day of strength, encourages you to honor your personal power. Excuse me. On this day, you can reflect on the challenges you have faced and overcome. You can also call on deities or spirits of strength like Thor or the warrior spirits of your ancestry to empower you.
Day 10. As the Yule season is coming to a close, it's time to honor protection. Make protective charms or talismans. Smudge your home. It is a closed practice, so do this only if you are indigenous. Or cast a circle to shield your space from negativity. Focus on the positive energy you had since the start of Yule.
Circle of salt around your house. Protect from the bad spirits.
No Wendigos here.
Well, that's not a spirit. That's a shapeshifter.
Wendigo away.
Wendigos.
Wendigo.
Be gone. Wendigo. Day 11. This is a night for celebration and joy. Yule merges with New Year's Eve, so light fireworks or sparklers, dance or make noise, driving away any lingering darkness and welcome a brighter year. Make custom fireworks with salt in them and light them around your house.
This is how we lose fingers and eyes and potentially hands.
This is how we protect from the Wendigo.
This is why there's so many degrees of burn. Day 12. The final day of Yule is a day of renewal and new beginnings. Reflect on the transformations you went through during the Yule season. You can write down goals for the new year or create a vision board that represents your intentions.
Modern Yule often displays a high degree of syncretism with other historical midwinter rites. The modern calendar includes days dedicated to specific Germanic deities, such as Odin's Day, and incorporates foreign folklore elements like Grilla and the Yuletide, Icelandic. I think we should get into those next year.
Mm-hmm.
Those were really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Watch Red One. You'll get a little bit on Grilla.
Saturnalia.
Saturnalia. Roman. Marilude.
I think that's how you spell it. Or say it. Marilude.
Welsh. And Hogmanay. Scottish. It's a very Scottish name.
Yep. Shepherd's pie and Hogmanay.
Is that Scottish?
Shepherd's pie?
I thought that was Irish.
Probably. You're probably right. I might be misconstruing places. You're probably right.
This flexibility demonstrates that the modern spiritual practice is fluid, historically informed, yet personally and culturally directed.
Culinary heritage remains a strong component of the modern observance, often reflecting specific Northern European origins. Practitioners often bake traditional Yuletide goodies such as Swedish pepparkakor, thin ginger snaps, and kanelbullar, cinnamon rolls. Families celebrating German heritage may bake German pancakes and braided stollen. In terms of decoration, modern pagans continue the ancient custom of decorating their homes with evergreen wreaths, often incorporating symbolic plants like holly, mistletoe, and ivy to symbolize life and prosperity, ensuring the historical continuity of the protective magic and symbolic defiance of winter. The Yule Tomte, the Christmas gnome, is another prominent figure deriving from a hybrid creation of the pre-Christian Tomte, a protective house spirit, and the Christian Santa Claus. Similarly, the Yule goat, is still represented, typically made of straw, preserving the complex links to Thor and the spirit of the harvest.
My sister likes Yule Tomtes.
The gnomes.
Christmas gnomes.
Not just Christmas gnomes, all gnomes.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Well, she likes Christmas now. No, she originally got gnomes from Christmas gnomes. When we got into gnomes. Now she is obsessed with gnomes. The history of Yule demonstrates the profound persistence of human ritual in addressing existential and environmental concerns. Traced through the linguistic evidence of the 5th century Gothic calendar to the rigorous public rituals of the Viking Age, the Midwinter Festival established itself as an indispensable period in the Germanic world. Its initial function as a 2-month calendrical structure, Juli, and its ritual climax involving the bloat and solemn head-stringing show that Yule was a period of high social and political consequence, not merely seasonal amusement.
The successful, albeit calculated, assimilation of Yule by Christian authorities, notably King Haakon I, was possible precisely because the festival's core purpose to secure life, light, and order during the year's darkest hours was too fundamental to eradicate. By transforming the agrarian feast into the liturgical nativity celebration, Christian Europe preserved the structure and the enduring symbols, the Yule Log, the evergreens, and the ancestral rites. Mōdraniht, Mother's Night, which continue to shape the customs of Christmas globally.
Today, Yule's revival among modern spiritual practitioners confirms its adaptability. Contemporary practice synthesizes ancient cosmological necessity, the return of the sun, with personal spiritual renewal, releasing the past. This continuum confirms Yule's status as a foundational element of Northern European culture and religious history, providing a critical annual nexus point where the natural world, the ancestral spirits, and the hopes for the coming year are ritually engaged and affirmed.
That's it. We did Advent. We did Yule. How about that?
Yep, we did Krampus.
We did do Krampus. We're going to get into some other things in the next episodes.
We're going to take the year out with a bang. Bring it out with a bang.
Quite so.
And then we're going to get on to a new topic.
And that's it. Question brought.
Question answered.